I already filmed this entire video, but I deleted it. On purpose. Like, I deleted it on purpose. I just didn't like my energy level. So this is round 2 on my thoughts about photo editing. With high energy. I can't. That's one of the hardest things about making videos, is you just have to have so much energy. But sometimes, man, I just don't have the energy. But if you have any tips on how to have high natural energy while filming a video, let me know in the comments. So a dude named Matt Dalman on Instagram asked me a question. He asked me about photo editing. Specifically, he says, what editing software do you use? What suggestions do you have for someone who is cheap like myself and doesn't want to pay for Adobe Photoshop? I currently have just been using SNAPSEED. More generally, what are your thoughts on photo editing as a whole? How much is too much? Where do you draw the line personally when it comes to making changes? Cropping, dodging and burning, removing things altogether, image stacking to make sure everything's in focus and exposed correctly, etc. Personally, I edit some, but that's probably because my images suck and they need help. Anyways, I think it's an interesting topic and it seems people have a wide range of opinions on the subject. Just a thought. Peace, man. Have a good one. Matt, thank you so much for the question. Very thorough, very packed, and I love it, and I want to answer it. I have a lot of opinions about this, so let's move locations to keep this interesting and high energy, and let's start answering these questions.
Well, Matt, the first question you asked me is what photo editing software do I use? Well, it depends. If you're editing a buttload of photos, you want to use Lightroom because it's really good for batch photos. So Lightroom is my main photo editor. If I want to do like some crazy manipulation, like if I have Uncle Bob's face looking really good in this photo and I want to take it off and put it on Uncle Bob's bad face on this photo, I use Photoshop for that. And then if I'm on the road and I just want to do a quick, easy edit, I'll use Snapseed. Snapseed, like you mentioned, is actually a really powerful mobile photo editor. So it's great. Lightroom really helps turn your crappy photos into some golden bangers. In all seriousness, Lightroom is actually really awesome. It's what I use for about 99% of all my photo editing. I love it. And to be honest with you, I'm really actually into photo editing. I think that there are 2 parts to photo editing. The first part is the actual taking of the photo, the setup, getting to the location, lighting, your settings, everything like that, and then the click. All that is the first part. The second part is the photo editing. I think that the photo editing tells a huge story. I can go outside and look at a mountain and it's beautiful to me, but when you post a photo on Instagram, I want to be able to look at that mountain through your eyes. I want to be able to get inside your head and see how you saw that mountain. I can't go outside and look at that mountain and see it how you saw it. So editing a photo, bringing out the colors, exaggerating the shapes and the colors and the shadows and the brights and making it really dark and moody or bright and vibrant. It really shows the mood and it tells me a story. It shows me the emotions that you felt when you saw that image or when you saw that scene or that person or whatever you shot. So I actually really am an advocate of photo editing. The next question you asked was how much is too much as far as cropping, dodging and burning, removing things altogether, image stacking. So I think you should just do whatever you want. Sometimes when you're taking a picture of something really iconic and there's like 12 people in the scene, you have to take them out. So do it. I mean, if you want to do it, yeah, I say go for it. Crop away. If you have a full frame sensor, you can crop a ton. I don't do a ton of image stacking, mostly just because I'm not that good at it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think if you want to image stack away. Whatever you have to do to make the photo look the way you want it to, I think you should just do it. I'm a big fan of making a photo look the way you want it to look. Exaggerate, saturate, brighten it up, crush those darks. However, having said that, I will say that I don't like something that is distorted or that makes it look like you didn't know what you were doing. Another thing I want to mention real quick is presets. I'm actually a big fan of presets. A lot of people aren't because they think that it steals your creative style, which can be true if you let it. So what I do is I use presets from artists that I really like. For example, Chris Howe or Peter McKinnon or Alan Palander. Those are 3 photographers that I really like, especially Chris Howe. I think that his photography editing is on point. So I purchased his presets. I plug them into Lightroom, and then I'll scrub through. When I'm editing a photo, I'll scrub through the different presets. I'll look at the little preview, and I use them as a learning tool. Those photographers know way more about Lightroom and photo editing than I do. So I click the preset, I look at what the different sliders have done to my photo and how it manipulated it, and then I manually go through and adjust it from there, and I add my style and my flair to it, my creative style. So I use the preset as a learning tool, but I stay true to my editing style. The last thing I would say is just to take the photo really nicely. With digital cameras these days, we tend to just rapid fire and take as many photos as possible to make sure that we got the shot. And sometimes that's not a very good thing. Pretend that your camera is a film camera and that your photographs are very limited. Try to get your exposure right, try to get your aperture right, try to compose it right so you don't need to crop and you don't need to adjust too much in Lightroom. It sucks in post when you have to adjust the lighting. You're trying really, really hard to bring back the details from the blown out whites or bring up the darks and it's just really grainy and noisy. So my last piece of advice is just to try and make the photo look a little bit better in camera. Don't rely on Lightroom or Snapseed or Photoshop too much. Don't use it as a crutch. Thanks for the thorough question, Matt. I hope this answered all of it. And just a reminder as a disclaimer, all of this has been my opinion. This is not Bible. And I hope you all understand that and are okay with it. Catch you in the next one.